Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. Awesome to have you guys back on the channel. This is T.Mayne, guys, and today we are going to be speaking about our order blocks. Now this is a follow-up video, guys, from the previous one. The first video, all we did, guys, was explain to you guys exactly what order blocks are, where to find them, how to validate them, and then how to trade them. Now in today's video, guys, we're going to be looking at the charts just to see some practical examples of how functional order blocks actually are. And what I'd like to do before we get into the charts is also explain to you guys entry confirmations using order blocks. Now guys, we're going to touch base on what I've called time frame thinking, understanding that everything in the market is fractal. Now what we're going to be doing is, while I'm explaining this to you guys, we're also going to highlight and touch on some important factors, then again on order blocks. So let's just create a hypothetical example. We have a nice support structure down there. We have some resistance. We see the support structure being violated. We're expecting the last bullish candle here to be our order block. And then obviously what we do is we wait to see prices come back into this area before we take a sell. Now, when we are looking at order blocks, what I generally do is I have my higher time frame where I'm looking for that higher time frame order block. And then when it's time to enter, guys, our entry time frame is not the same time frame as the time frame where we observe this larger time frame order block. So obviously when prices come into this area here, we are then dropping down onto our lower time frames to look for an entry. Now, what kind of an entry do we use if we're trading order blocks? Look at this structure over here, and that will give you a hint, guys. Because we are trading bearish order blocks, if we're on the 4-hour and prices are in our 4-hour bearish order block, we drop down our time frames, maybe even go down 5 minutes, and then we will observe price in this area. So we wait for prices to come here, we wait for a low, multiple confirmations on this trade. We're waiting for a new bearish order block to form off our previous bearish order block, in this case over here. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing, guys. We're just going to be on our higher time frame, analyzing and just looking at how these order blocks play out. Now that we've discussed that, guys, let's look at a practical example. Now, in this case, guys, we're looking at AUDUSD. Now, the reason why I just came over here was just so that I can explain to you guys what the general process is, and then we'll begin to play the market forward and actually look for these setups and these entries as we move along. Now, guys, because maybe, or let's just take into account, let's look for one. Okay, we'll take into account the structure over here. So what we can see, guys, is prices creating lows, creating highs, creating lows, creating new highs. Then we see these lows being violated to the downside. Now we know after we see these lows being violated to the downside, what we are looking for basically is for prices to come and test the last bullish candle before the move to the downside that has broken structure. If you guys don't remember, or if you guys are watching this for the first time and you don't know how we validate an order block, please go back and watch the previous video on order blocks so that you understand exactly how we validate them, so that we don't go into that in this video. Now that we know that, we're obviously looking at the previous bullish candlestick before the move to the downside that has violated some structure for us to be able to find our short entry off. Now, if we come here and we obviously check this last down candle, we set our entry there, our stops maybe above the swing high, a couple of pips above the swing high, whatever the case is, you guys will see that, okay, cool, we've been triggered into a nice short position. Now let's just come over here, do this over here. We'll just leave that like that. Now all we'll do, guys, is I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how we wait for these order blocks to form. Now, if we look at structure, guys, these are our lowest structures. So for us to be looking for some bearish order blocks, what we need to see, or let's play the market forward while we're talking, we need to see these lows being violated. Awesome, guys. We've seen our violation of lower structures. Now what do? Now we go back and we look at where was the last bullish candle before the move that actually violated our support structures. What we will see is at the swing high, guys, at the swing high right here, we have a nice bullish candlestick right over there. So now we know where our next bearish order block is. Our next bearish order block is at this zone. So what we will then do is just automatically set our order in here after we've seen prices breaking below the structure. We'll then just set our stop a couple of pips above, and we'll play the market on just to see if we get tagged into this position or what happens here. We're expecting prices to respect this last bullish order block over here. Now this is, you could say, also part of a young backtesting small session yana type of thing, but nonetheless cool. We're in this trade. What we do see is another break of structure. So we then see prices obviously violating these support structures here. What we then do is we come back and we look for our last bullish candlestick, which is this bullish candlestick over here. We then, after we get this violation of our low, we come here, we set our order there, maybe our stop loss a couple of pips above the high that we just saw over here, and then we play the market to see if our bearish order block is holding. So we're basically looking to see which direction is prices breaking structure. Once we see prices, now these are obviously our next new lows over here. So what we'll wait to see is we'll wait for prices to come down and violate those lower structures over there. So price seems to be playing a lot in this area over here. Cool, we finally have a breakdown of structure. Now again, on the 4 hour, now that we've violated our support structures over here, guys, what we could be looking for is this last bullish candlestick over here, looking for the retest of that structure for this move to the downside. But because we're already in a position, we are not going to look to set another entry at that zone. Now this is another bearish order block that we could be looking for a trade off. Now we'll just play the market onwards, let it go through with its cycle, see if we can see any other further entries aside from the entries that we've taken so far. So now that we have I guess a new break of structure, now it doesn't have to really honestly all the time be major structure that we look to be violated first, because what we can see here in this case is a nice resistance area that we see prices violating these lows. There's our bullish order block. We look for this trade off this area here. So prices were playing as we were talking, and we can see that prices just absolutely melted to the downside while we were looking, or while we were having that discussion. So let's just play the market on, guys. We'll see where the next order block might form. So we're waiting for that low to be established. Once that low is established, we wait for that swing high, and then obviously we then observe which structure or which last order block has then been the origination of the move that violates our structure. So that's what we are looking for. We're playing the market as fast as we can. Let's pause it right there, because what do we have? We have a new low that was formed in this area over here. Let's just put this horizontal tool. We have our lower structures, guys. Let's play this market again. Let's see if we actually violate this low. Okay, there we go. We violate this low nice and beautifully. Now, where is the bullish candlestick? Our last bullish candlestick here, that is basically the origin of this move to the downside. We have this candlestick over here. So we'll obviously take into account the low of this candlestick. Our stop loss will obviously be above structure. So now we know that when we're executing this order, where our order needs to be placed is at the beginning of that bearish order block. Now we'll go in and set our short position somewhere over here. Our stops probably above the high. And I guess, guys, you can also take this as a young backtesting session to see how beautifully AUDUSD respects these order blocks. Now, once we have that break of structure, so we're obviously waiting for that break of structure first. Once we see that break of structure to the downside, we're looking for the order block that originated that whole move that actually broke our structure. So we'll then play the market. And in terms of targets, guys, you guys can be looking for, ooh, what a beautiful entry, guys. If you guys see this entry, we literally just got tagged into this position and prices just ran away in the direction that we are looking to trade. So nice, amazing entry on AU in this case, if we've been trading, if we were trading these order blocks. But let's continue this market and see what we can see afterwards. Cool. So we have, I guess, a lower low that's been formed in this area over here. We still have these lower structures over here that need to be violated. So let's just wait for the violation of these lows over here. Let's see if prices do violate these lows. Cool. We have a nice violation. Before we even talk about where our next entry is, let's talk about this. Now, if you guys look at this example here, guys, what you will see is we have this high over here. Let's just get this drawing tool. There we go. We have this swing high over here. We obviously know the last bullish candle in that swing is our order block, so we know we have an order block over there. But if we look at price action over here, what do we have here? We have a pullback, guys. We have a pullback, and within this pullback we have a new bullish candlestick over there that is the origin of this move to the downside that has violated both this support and our major support structure over here. So obviously my first area of looking for the bearish momentum, or at least the continuation of any bearish momentum, would be in and around this area here. Why? Because we have seen a small pullback with some green candlesticks that could have been the origin of this move to the downside. And if that bearish order block does not hold for us, then we will obviously look for the entry at the next bearish order block, which is up here. So let's just play the market and see how does AU treat this analysis. So in terms of targets, guys, we could be going for a minimum risk reward ratio of 1:3 or something of that nature. Ooh, looks like we almost just got pipped in. Looks like we just got tagged in somewhere there. But nonetheless, let's just say maybe we didn't get tagged in. Let's just see what happens here. Let's not try and get those picture perfect setups that actually work all 100% of the time, because the truth is that it's probabilities that we're playing against or that we're kind of trading, and not every single order block that we have. Oh, there we get it. We got a nice good tag into this position. Do we continue? There we go. So guys, there you have it. We used this second order block here. We just need to see if prices don't just push to the upside, because you got a nice bullish candlestick over here. Let's see if we do get that follow through. But considering the way that I would trade this, guys, what I'd be looking at now is, because yes, we've created this double top structure and we've broken this neckline, which is the bullish candlestick that is the origin of that break of structure. We have this last bullish candlestick in this area here that has been the cause of this break of this support structure over here. So we'll just mark that out over there, and then obviously that's what I would be doing going next. On my 4 hour, that's the next bearish order block that I would be looking for prices to come back and retest. Let's not take into account where prices are now. Let's just wait for prices to kind of maybe push away. But nonetheless, guys, this is where we would enter this position. After the break, let's play this market out. Okay, cool. We look like we're running away. There we go. We got a nice tap into this area, guys. We got a beautiful tap into this area. Do we continue with the bearish order flow? Do we continue? Guys, there's it. There we have it. There we have it. Another bearish order block being amazingly respected, guys, on AU. Do we continue down? That's another thing. Okay, cool. Now that we've violated, guys, we've violated these previous lower structures over here. So obviously, now that we've violated those previous lower structures, we look at this bullish candlestick that was the origin of this move to the downside, which is, let's just get a horizontal ray, which is, we just put that at the low of our candlestick, which is over here. And then we're obviously looking for bearish continuation trades off that structure over there. So let's just delete this as well. I think delete this as well, because this was like some old analysis that we have here. And then let's set our order somewhere at these highs here. So we're setting our order at this area here. Obviously our stops will be above this swing over here, because the point of an order block is to refine our entries, guys. We want to refine those entries. So we'll carry on playing the market and see if we actually do get a tap into this area. And we don't. Okay, cool. Not yet. Prices are still pushing to the downside. Okay, cool. So now what we can do, guys, is we can assume that we have a low being formed. So now that we have this low, obviously we'll be looking to see if this low is violated, and we'll be looking to see the bearish order block that is the cause of that low being violated. So let's just play the market in. Do we tap this area? Do we get an entry, guys? Let's play this. Let's keep going forward. Okay, markets are pushing to the upside. So we have a low formed, we have a high formed, we have a new low that is formed over there. So we'll keep playing this market. Play this market forward. Okay, prices seem to be moving very much sideways. Ooh, do we get a tap into this area? No, not yet, guys, not yet. So we don't get a tap into that area as yet. But guys, what we can see, and let's also be honest about this whole thing, and let's also look for those bullish bias setups, because we've seen some resistance being violated. This resistance has been violated obviously by this move to the upside. We then look for our bullish order block, and which is obviously the last down candle before the move to the upside that has violated some structure. So we'll be looking to buy off this order block. So we'd set our entry somewhere there and our stops just below the low. In this case over here, I don't know, maybe 1:3 risk reward ratio, doesn't really matter. But anyway, let's see if we finally get stopped out of a position trading these order blocks, because things are okay. Cool. So we just got triggered into this bullish trade over here. Do we continue on this bearish run, because we have some nice momentum to the downside? But nonetheless, yes, guys, not every order block will be respected. So let's just make this analysis as honest as possible and trade every single order block that we do find. Cool. So we play the market. Do we come up and violate? Guys, there we have it. We violated these resistance areas here. The reason why we traded this bullish order block is because it was the origin of this move to the upside that has violated some previous resistance. So we wait for prices to come back to the origin of this move, and we trade that bullish order block. Now, in addition, guys, if we just remember this position up here that we've set at this bearish order block here, it looks like we've just been triggered into that trade. So let's just delete this. Oh, my mistake. Sorry about tapping that notification. Let's delete this. Let's just give TradingView a moment, because my TradingView seems to be stuck. Okay, there we go. TradingView's back, guys. So we've also been triggered into this position as well. So exactly what we'll be looking for, guys, is for obviously our lower structures to be violated. So maybe because well, I'm hoping that these lows get violated. So let's just do this. Let's set our entry down there, and we'll play the market. Ooh, what a nice bearish engulfing candlestick, guys. What a beautiful bearish engulfing candlestick. Let's keep going. Oh, and we can see, guys, if we violate these lower structures here, what I will be able to kind of derive from this is that we broke below, and we're coming back to test this last order block up here, because there is some structure on a smaller time frame inside there. So that will be the case if we violate these lower structures here. Okay, cool. We violated those lower structures. So now we can confirm that whatever we were looking at is what was actually happening. So now that let's just play the market onwards. Now what I want to say here, or how I would kind of adapt to what's going on, is maybe I would take into account the fact that we do have some momentum on our left hand side violating some structure. So maybe I do kind of want to be bearish. So maybe I'll just be focusing very much on these bearish order blocks. So we have this support structure here. Where's the previous green candle that broke that structure? This candlestick over here. This is the candlestick before the momentum that has broken our lower structures. Now that is the order block that I'll kind of be looking for in my new bearish order block that I'll be looking for a trade off. So let's just delete this so this doesn't confuse us. We know we got a nice sell off that bearish order block there. So we'll just come here and we'll just set an order at that bearish order block. Stops above the swing high as well, targets wherever. Maybe we're targeting a minimum risk reward ratio of 1:3. So I'll be more excited, guys, if this low over here gets violated. I'll be even more excited, and if that low gets violated, then hi, things are looking good, guys. Okay, cool. We've just violated these lower structures here. I do see that pin below. Let's keep playing the market. Okay, we violated it nicely this time. What do we see prices doing? Why is prices looking bullish? Okay, we got a very bullish engulfing candlestick. That's kind of worrying me now. Bullish engulfing coming into our order block. Okay, a nice tap in, still green. Okay, cool. Let's see how this goes. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Let's just see how it goes. Let's get stopped out if you're getting stopped out. Okay, cool. Price is pushing away from this order block, guys. Price is pushing away from this order block. If we violate our new lower structures here, then, guys, we're in on this bearish run. This is going to be amazing. Let's highlight those lows there. Let's see if we come down and violate those lows, or do we finally get stopped out on AU. Okay, cool. So we violated those lower structures. Okay, cool, guys. We've come to the end. We're actually where the market is right now. I can't go any more further. I think, guys, I think this has been it. I think this has been it for order blocks. We've been kind of trading these bearish order blocks. I've been reinforcing to you guys that what we are focusing on is the last bullish candle before the momentum to the downside that has broken structure. That is for our bearish order blocks. And for bullish order blocks would be the exact inverse, guys. We would look for, maybe for example, we are looking at an uptrend. So we look for prices to violate our resistance. Then we look for that last bearish order block, which is obviously, I mean, it's going to be a bullish order block. So that last bearish candle before the move that has violated our resistance. Once prices come back into this area, this is where we're looking to execute. Now, for confirmation, like I said in the beginning of this video, guys, for confirmation, what we could be looking for is when prices get into this area on a smaller time frame. What we're looking for is we're looking to see prices. So we come down on a smaller time frame. What we're looking to see is for prices to violate resistance, create a new order block, and we wait on that smaller time for prices to come back into this order block, and we look for a bullish continuation trade. So do you guys see how we're looking for literally the exact same price action, but just one on a bigger time frame to allow us to spot a zone of interest, an area of interest, and then again on a smaller time frame so that we can be able to execute and actually enter this position. Guys, I have come to the end of this video. If you have received the value that was intended for you guys, I think I thoroughly enjoyed this young backtest session, looking at order blocks for you guys, looking at the charts, seeing how these things work. If you guys have received the value, definitely do drop a like on the video, guys. I will appreciate it. It'll be the one thing that will allow me to see that I am giving you guys the value if you guys are liking the videos. Otherwise, if it's your first time on the channel, definitely do subscribe, because I'm always doing stuff like this, always just trying to educate, just trying to share my mind, my whatever, my processes, my everything. Otherwise, guys, this is T.Mayne. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. I will see you guys in the future videos, guys. Have a great week, guys. Cheers.